This is MATHguide.com. My name is Mark Haradimos. Today we're going to take a look at how to subtract rational expressions. Rational expressions are just fractions. These are, of course, more difficult than your typical fractions because they contain expressions. In other words, variables. So in order to subtract or add fractions, you need a common denominator. We already have a common denominator, so what we're going to do is just combine the numerators. So if we have 8x minus 3x, we're going to do that. We're going to do that and put that all over our common denominator. So our numerator, once we simplify that, is going to become 5x all over our x plus 9. Alright, what we want to do now is see, can we divide the numerator and denominator by a common factor, and it turns out that they have no common factors. That's the solution. Alright, we need to take a look at a more complicated problem. That was, of course, definitely a warm-up, kind of easy problem. So for our next problem, we're going to see something a bit more complicated, and this one definitely will be more complicated because they don't have a common denominator. In the case that there is no common denominator, what we're going to do is we are going to multiply the numerator and denominator of these fractions to get a common denominator. So since this denominator has an x minus 7 and this denominator doesn't have that factor of x minus 7, we're going to multiply this fraction, denominator, by x minus 7, and therefore we have to multiply the top. Whatever we multiply the bottom of a fraction by, we have to multiply the top in order to retain the correct ratio. So we're scaling up the fraction. Or in other words, we're multiplying the top and bottom by that x minus 7, and we'll get the common denominator. Well, again, on this fraction, we're missing the factor of x plus 1. So we're going to multiply the top and bottom of this fraction by x plus 1. Now, if you really think about this, this denominator will be x plus 1 times x minus 7. This denominator will be x plus 1 times x minus 7 also. You could see they will have the same exact factors, and therefore we'll have a common denominator. Okay, so what's left to do is to actually multiply these numerators together. So I'm going to multiply the 2x, x minus 7 is what I mean by the numerators, multiply these two together. So I'm going to get, let's see, 2x times x is 2x squared. 2x times negative 7 is minus 14x. And that is all over our common denominator, x plus 1, x minus 7. Okay, now we're going to do the same thing here. I'm going to multiply this numerator by x plus 1, so 4 times x is 4x, 4 times 1 is 4. Alright, and of course going to multiply those, so my common denominator is x plus 1 and x minus 7. Alright, so now that we have a common denominator, what we can do is combine like terms. So let's see, 2x squared minus no other squares, so that's going to be a 2x squared. Alright, let's see, negative 14x minus 4x. Let's see, negative 14 minus 4 is negative 18x. Let's see, we don't have any other numbers to subtract from 4, so all we have is a minus 4. Or think of it as we have nothing, take away 4, nothing, take away 4 is minus 4. Alright, all over our denominator. Let's see, that's x plus 1. X minus 7. Now I want to see if there's some common factor between the numerator and denominator. So what I need to do is to factor this. And the first thing I notice is that all of those terms are even. So I'm going to divide them all by 2, or factor out the 2. So I get x squared minus 9x minus 2. Okay, so when I factor that, that's what I get. And what I was looking to do is to see, is there something I could factor this by? Like, for instance, could I factor this and get a common factor? In other words, is there a factor of x plus 1 there, or a factor of x minus 7 in that? And it turns out that this is not factorable at all. I can just tell. There's no way I can multiply two numbers to get negative 2 and add those same numbers to get negative 9. So this is unfactorable. So it turns out, even though I tried my best to factor, to get to identify a common factor, it's impossible. So actually, we could either leave this numerator over those two factors, or what I'm going to do is just going to back up, and I'm going to go back to this step, and that actually I'm just going to write that as the final answer. And there you have it. So that's how you subtract rational expressions. If you'd like, please go back to MATHguide.com, check out our other videos, interactive quizzes, and lessons. Take care.